Welcome to the show, Mitchell. You've actually been on the show before,
Yeah,
in an impromptu me flying to Arizona to vote show. That was actually a lot of fun. We jammed a little bit, but we're going to talk to. I want to talk to you about your new project. Mitchell has been doing something called the Beat Sessions, and I've seen a couple of your videos. I don't watch them all. I tend to check out albums that interest me, like the new Weezer album. You actually just recently did one, Crosby, right? Some didn't
yeah.
Crosby just
David
release
David Crosby put out a new record. He's 80 years old, man, and it's
80?
it's phenomenal, dude. He sounds just as good as he ever has before. So it's really cool to see a lot of these older performers. Tom Jones put out an album earlier in the year. Sounds
Yeah,
just as energetic as he ever did before.
Tom Jones,
Tom
really?
Jones did, yeah.
All right, so
Um,
Mitchell's been doing this show called the Beat Sessions on YouTube, and what he does is he breaks down. I mean, do you do every new record? I mean, you really do have a wide range of records that you do. Like, what kind of music are you pinpointing?
there would be no way to cover every single record that's released with any type of integrity, even like major
All right,
releases, because
yeah.
I have a list that pulls up maybe depending on the week. Some weeks are loaded. Some weeks there's like 20, 25 albums that are coming out. Some weeks are
Wow.
light. And it's
Okay.
basically kind of a crapshoot. A lot of it's based on what I'm into. I like a lot of rock and roll, especially older classic rock, anything rooted in blues. But I'm also a huge fan of pop music, a huge fan of hip hop, especially 90s hip hop. And so it kind of depends on what's coming out. And obviously what is popular plays into a little bit. I do have to consider that, but I've noticed that it's kind of a crapshoot as far as who I'm talking about
Mhm.
and how successful a video it is. It's been kind of tough tracking analytics that way, but I know that Friday is album release day. So when I do Friday videos, those tend to be my better videos as far as views and comments. Really started this page as a means to not only get out of my own personal music rut. I think it's something that, no matter what you're dealing with in life, is really easy for it to happen. So I found
Yeah.
myself just, and especially DJing as much as I do now, like stuck in a rut, playing a lot of the same stuff, needing to branch out a bit. So starting the channel for that reason, but it is great as a resource too, to have other people, giving me their input. I have, a couple people now that are asking me to do album reviews as the channel grows and builds. It's
Nice.
becoming a solid community, much like you have here. Chat, I see you guys on a daily basis, minus like all the creepy Orwellian stuff, but you guys are great, for real. The sense of community that you have all built around this show, like we're just watching all of you say hello, spread the love with each other. It's a phenomenal thing. And, like Adam says, there is no chat that is like you guys. Nothing compares to you guys. So it's great to be a part of the show live and to be involved.
Boom.
And kudos to you guys for just bringing that thunder, for bringing that fire. It really is truly authentic and a lot of fun to watch on a daily basis.
So I see you got a couple. So John Mayer, I want to talk to you about the John Mayer album,
All right.
because I really like John Mayer a lot, and I think I actually watched some of it, and you were talking about how he isn't doing what he could do on the guitar. He is one of the best guitarists I've heard in a while, but not on his albums. Like, he doesn't use his guitar skills on his albums.
And you're
Right?
absolutely right about that. It's he's I think he's always considered himself more of a songwriter than a guitar player for some reason.
Okay.
And there's a lot of, I'm not comparing him musically, but I lump him into this category of guys like Eddie Van Halen, and I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers with this. Not the hugest fan of the band Van Halen, but Eddie's genius is undeniable. Easily one of the best guitar players ever. So I look at a guy like John Mayer, and this album in particular, I hate the title. I think the title is awful. But I'm a big Sabra. It's garbage.
What does that mean? Sob rock.
So it almost kind of feels like he's poking fun at himself a little bit, kind of a play on this genre of soft rock that he obviously has made a career out of. But he's on this particular album, he's dialing into this like mid 80s Don Henley kind of thing. I mean, you can even just look at the album cover and see it from there. And so, loving that, I like what he's doing on the record. There's some stuff that really hits solid. I'm trying to think of the name of the 7th track. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but I know it's song number 7 on that album. It's phenomenal. It's really just got this excellent balladry to it. And it's John working with the guitar in a way that I think a lot of us would like to see him work more with it on albums. I don't necessarily need to see like a straight up raw blues record from him.
Yeah.
But it would
But
be nice.
I would love that though. I would love that.
I would absolutely love it. And you do have like the John Mayer trio. He has done a number of side projects where, you know, he's flirted with that and, you know, gone full on with it. Yeah. But, you know, it's I think it's just one of those things that from a songwriter standpoint, artistically, like guys like you and I are just never gonna, I don't know, knowing that potential he has as a blues guitarist, how talented he really is. I just don't think guys like us will really ever be satisfied with, you know, just with that style that he's rolling with. And, you know, that's a decision that he's made. And again, there's a lot of stuff that I do like about this new record. I think the 80s sound that he's channeling is great. There are some spots where I think as far as just like his hooks and the energy there's just lost potential. A lot of them are really soft. There's nothing that really like grabs and sticks with you. As far as a lot of the songs, that's the big thing that I noticed on it anyway.
So you've been doing a lot of different albums here. I mean, obviously Bare Naked Ladies, like I didn't even know they were still around. Who else we got?
I mean, me neither. That's the great thing about this is like, I mean, I go look at the week and kind of line up how I'm going to play things based on my work schedule. And just, I mean, on a weekly basis, I'm tickled by some band that I just thought had disappeared off the face of the earth and still doing their thing, chugging away at it. And it's really cool. Like that particular album is solid. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not one to like really throw on the Bare Naked Ladies very often. Tour de Force.
I love the album artwork is awesome, actually.
Album artwork, yeah, that's the bicycle that's on the ring, right? Of the moon or the planet or whatever.
Like whatever, some sort of planet with rings.
Great artwork on that record, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's definitely been one of the highlights of this channel is, you know, a lot of these bands that, you know what it is too, and you can relate to this. I think most people watching the show right now can relate to it, is, you know, when you're younger and you're into whatever it is you think is the hippest thing out there and everything else just isn't that cool. Like, I feel like Bare Naked Ladies came up at a time where, you know, like I was into SoCal punk and, you know, a couple of these other genres, and I just didn't think of them as cool. Like, like I just saw them as like commercial and goofy and just sort of overlooked them. You know, never minded when anybody would play them on the radio or, you know, throw them in a playlist or whatever, but it was nothing that I ever threw on my own. So, you know, being able to explore bands like this and, you know, listen to their music now and listen to what they're writing 20, 25 years ago, especially is a pretty cool thing. So
out of all the albums that you've done, let's just go 2021. When did you start your channel? When was that?
December 8th of last year. So
okay. Wow.
It's pretty much,
fresh.
Yeah, pretty much just picked up in this year. Okay,
so I'd say let's just go of the albums that you've reviewed for your channel that you've listened. Well, first off, do you get them all on record or do you listen to them on online somewhere?
Well, I definitely stream them because there are you know there's ones that I haven't liked where there would be buyer's remorse. I definitely would definitely would not want to own quite a few records that I've reviewed. I try not to just do negative outright hit pieces on records. I mean, like I want this channel to be constructive. At the very least, you know, like I'm glad you highlight the volume. You know, at the very least, I would like to just have this be a list that you can go to be like, all right, what came out this week? And you can check it out and make up your own mind and opinion on it. But
you do a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I would say the one drawback right now is, you know, having, you know, built this momentum, now I find myself not enjoying a lot of the stuff that I really like as much as I used to. So there is that compromise there. And I mean, obviously, you know, we've working a lot with the move, you and Nishra, and you know, there's just been a lot going on. So as far as like managing my time and trying to work that out right now, it's one of those things where, you know, picking up the live show again next month and moving.
I got to come on your show.
I definitely want you on my show. Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. It might be. Come on over.
It might be a little late where you're at when we do that, but
that's okay.
If you're willing to make the sacrifice. But yeah, you know, I think it's tough, man. I definitely would like to do 5 album reviews a week. Try to keep the genres mixed, keep some type of rock and roll, some type of pop, some type of hip hop in there for everybody. Just to, keep the channel diverse, try to keep everybody's interest keyed in on. And again, a lot of it just depends on the week. Like if you're a hip hop fan, this upcoming weekend is a big one. GZA has a new record coming out. So he's got GZA versus Bobby Digital. So if you're a Wu-Tang Clan fan, that's going to be an awesome record. Nas has a brand new record coming out. And then 2 highly anticipated records. I'm not sure how you feel about either of these guys, but both Drake and Kanye have their new records coming out this weekend. Kanye's announces, Drake hasn't. There's like speculation about Drake, but I have a feeling that with the beef between those guys, Drake is going to be like, all right, you're putting yours out, I'm putting mine out. Like, he's had that record finished for months now. He could have put it out whenever he wanted to.
Well, I'm not really excited about Drake, but I am excited about Kanye's because I really like Kanye's music. Everything that he's ever put out with I vibe with. It's just good music. I like the way that he does things. I like pretty much every Kanye album I've ever heard. But to be fair, I haven't actually put on a Drake album and just hit play and let it run, you know? So I can't really say that I've done that. But what I've heard of Drake, I'm like, meh.
I would say as far as their overall volume, you know, I'm definitely going to throw on a Kanye record before I throw on just a Drake record. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that Drake has done that I like. It's just, you know, a lot of his stuff kind of has that contemporary feel. So you do get these, you know, as opposed to just like a guy like Nas. I'm really excited about that new record. I like that.
I like Nas too.
Hip hop of just, you know, the hook is essentially just a solid beat. And you just give a guy, you know, or woman, you give a person, you know, 3 minutes to just spit and do their thing. And there's just great wordplay, great rhyme schemes. And so I like that style of hip hop. So Drake, you know, like that's not necessarily his thing all the time. I mean, he's capable of it. But, you know, there's a lot more of that contemporary stuff as far as like the melodies and the hooks. And I'm not necessarily wild about that all the time. And I know a lot of fans that, you know, that aren't really into that either. So
what else are you looking forward to? What other albums?
I know that the Killers have a new album coming out the following week.
Oh, I like the Killers.
Yeah, there's Big Tribe Called Quest fan. So Phife Dawg's final record is set to come out at some point before the end of the year. So really looking forward to that. Honestly, I'm really pumped about September, October. We're closing in on the 30th anniversary, and I'm going to do a lot of this on the live show. So if you honestly like want to come on and host one of these segments with me, it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, we're getting ready to close in on the 30th anniversary of one of like the most magical periods of music, like one of the most introspective periods in retrospect. You know, you have obviously Nirvana, Nevermind, but now we have Pearl Jam 10. We have Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magik. We're going to be celebrating Super Unknown, Soundgarden. I mean, there's all these just mega influential albums like across the genre board too. Yeah, that we're getting ready to celebrate that 30th anniversary in September and October. So that more than anything is what I'm really hyped about, you know, getting into the end of the year.
Man, just early 90s.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, you and I were, you know, pretty little, 6, 7, 8. I remember having this really cool babysitter. It was this guy that was a server at, you know, one of the restaurants that my mom managed. And, you know, he would bring over tapes and some other stuff and let me, I mean, he was like basically the first guy that taught me how to make a mixtape. Yeah. So, you know, he'd have a couple CDs. It was, you know, it's crazy to think that technology was like, you know, new at the time. Yeah. But, you know, we'd play the CD and rip it onto tape and just do mixtapes that way. And that was one of my favorite things growing up as a kid. I remember just staying up way too late all the time with a tape cassette in my 3-disc changer, just, you know, ready for the next song on the radio to play. You never knew what it would be.
I remember that.
And the worst was always when like the DJ wanted to talk or there'd be like some commercial break that'd go into an intro. You'd just be like, oh, shut up, you know?
I want the intro. Oh, they're still talking.
Yeah, dude, you gotta have the intro. I'm a purist of that way. So those were always re-records. You gotta hit the reset button. But yeah, you know, just a really rich period in music. A lot as far as just you know, the way hip hop was coming up, the way rock was changing, the way technology was changing. You know, really, it was kind of like the inception of this really crazy period that we're in right now. It's
someone in chat just said, and then grunge ended. It's like it's kind of true.
And so I've talked about this on my channel a lot too. I love the mid 90s because I think there's this period for about 2 years where rock and roll just didn't have an identity. Sublime, like the Wallflowers put out a new record. So like, I mean, you think about like the type of music they wrote. You know, REM was becoming, I don't want to say that they were releasing their best records because I really like their early records, their 80s stuff. But as far as their commercial success, they were blowing up. Monster came out in 94, I think. So yeah, I mean, Live is a great example. Yeah, you have all these different types of great rock and roll bands. Yeah. And then somehow out of that 2 years, we evolved into like post-grunge Creed, Nickelback, and like Blink-182 pop punk. Like, I don't know how with all these excellent bands, like we ended up with those two major genres of rock in the late 90s, but it happened. You know?
Yep.
So be it.